Welcome to Brave Voice English. Listen, read, and learn English with short stories. Don't forget to subscribe. Let's begin.
The Wise Old Man. In a quiet mountain village hidden among pine trees and misty peaks lived a man everyone called Old Pema. No one knew exactly how old he was. Some said 80, others said he had lived for more than 100 years. He walked slowly with a carved wooden cane, wore a brown robe, and his beard reached all the way to his chest. But his eyes sparkled with something ageless. People came to him not for herbs or magic, but for advice. He never gave answers directly. Instead, he told stories. Long ones, short ones, funny ones, sad ones. But his stories always made people think. Children loved him. Adults respected him. Strangers from far villages climbed the steep roads just to hear him speak. He lived in a tiny wooden hut near a stream. Outside, there was a bench shaded by a cherry tree, where he often sat sipping tea, watching the clouds roll over the hills. One morning, a boy named Tashi came to visit. Tashi was 13. His father had passed away the year before, and he lived with his mother and younger sister. He was quiet and thoughtful, but lately, he had become restless. He walked up to Old Pema, bowed respectfully, and said, "Sir, I need your wisdom. I don't know what to do with my life. Everyone says I must become something. A blacksmith, a farmer, a trader. But none of it feels right." Old Pema smiled gently and poured a second cup of tea. "Sit, young one. I will tell you a story." Tashi sat on the bench. The wind carried the soft scent of flowers. Once, Pema began, there was a young crow who lived in a forest filled with many birds. All the birds had songs, nightingales sang sweetly, parrots mimicked sounds, and owls hooted wisely. But the crow only cawed. The other birds laughed and said he had no talent. So the crow tried to sing like the nightingale, but he failed. Then he tried to hoot like the owl, but he failed again. He grew sad and flew far away. One day, he saw a village where no birds lived. There, the people were troubled by rats eating their grain. The crow cawed loudly and scared the rats. The people were happy. They built him a nest and gave him food. The crow realized something. While he could not sing like the others, his own voice had power. It just needed the right place. Tashi listened carefully. "So, what does that mean?" he asked. Old Pema smiled. "It means perhaps you haven't found the place where your voice matters most. Don't rush to become what others tell you. First, find out who you truly are." Tashi nodded slowly. "How do I do that?" "Live. Try. Fail. Help. Listen," said the old man. "And always return to yourself." In the months that followed, Tashi came to visit Old Pema many times. Each time with a new question. One day, "My friend lied to me. Should I forgive him?" Another day, "Why do people fight over land?" And another, "What is the meaning of happiness?" Old Pema never gave straight answers. He told more stories about travelers in deserts, turtles in rivers, and kings who left their thrones to walk among the poor. Each story seemed simple, but when Tashi thought deeply, he found truths hidden beneath the surface. Years passed. Tashi grew taller, stronger, and wiser. He became known in the village not for farming or smithing, but for his ability to listen, to guide others, and to speak calmly in times of trouble. When his mother fell ill, he cared for her without complaint. When a neighbor lost his home in a fire, Tashi led a group of villagers to rebuild it. People began calling him Young Pema. But as Tashi's wisdom grew, Old Pema's health declined. His walks became slower. His hands shook when pouring tea. Yet his eyes still sparkled. One morning, Tashi found the old man sitting quietly by the stream, eyes closed. "I had a dream," said Old Pema. Tashi sat beside him. "What did you see?" "I saw a bird flying over the village, leaving behind a trail of light. It circled 3 times, then flew toward the mountains." "What does it mean?" Tashi asked. Old Pema opened his eyes and looked toward the sky. "It means my time here is ending. And yours is beginning." Tashi felt a knot in his chest. "Don't say that." But the old man smiled. Nothing lasts forever, my boy. Except the lessons we pass on. Old Pema passed away that winter. The village mourned him deeply. They lit candles, rang bells, and placed flowers around his little hut. Tashi was heartbroken, but he remembered the stories. He remembered the lessons. And so, he began to tell the stories himself. He sat under the same cherry tree, poured tea, and welcomed those who were lost, confused, or in pain. He never said, "I have the answer." He said, "Let me tell you a story." And slowly, over time, people found their own truths, just like he had. One day, a small boy climbed the hill and asked, "Wise Tashi, I don't know what I should become." Tashi smiled and poured him a cup of tea. "Let me tell you a story," he said.